this on the Facebook. Greetings, YouTube. This is Shawana with Feeling Omi, and thank you for watching this video. This video is on the Cooty Killin Tea. So we're going to get started. What you're going to need is a 2-quart pot or larger. So I have my smaller pot here. I usually do it in a bigger pot, and I'll double the portions of what I'm using. Sometimes I'll do it in a bigger pot just so that I can add more water and not have to refill the water as often. The wonderful thing about this tea, you guys, is you can drink off this tea for like a week or longer. You can leave it on your stove and just continue to add water to it as needed. And the longer it sits, up to about a week, the stronger, the more potent it gets. And you can actually taste it and feel it. The other wonderful thing about this tea is that it's delicious. It's like good for you, but it tastes really good also, okay? So these are the ingredients that you will need for the tea. You're going to need 2 large oranges, navel oranges. You want them to be washed, and it's best to do this with a copper scrubber, but I just have a regular one of these mesh scrubbers, but it's best to do it with a copper scrubber, okay? So you want to wash them with a scrubber, and what you want to do is wash them until you can smell the aroma of the lemon and the orange as you're scrubbing them, okay? So you're going to scrub them as you wash them. I left these, not the ones in the dish over here are not washed or scrubbed yet. So just to kind of show you guys, what you're going to do is you're going to, of course, peel off all the little stickers that you find on the fruit. So I have 2 lemons, 2 oranges, and a lime, okay? 2 lemons, 2 oranges, and a lime. That's it for the citrus. I'm going to go over here and wash I already washed my 1 lemon and orange over here. So I'm going to go wash these. And I'm explaining to you guys, when you wash these, you're not peeling the skin off, but you're scrubbing them until you can smell the aroma of the fruit, okay? And what that does is get some of the wax off, because they put wax on our food. And even if it's organic, you want to do that because different people have been touching it in the store, right? And it just activates the oils and brings up all the good properties of the fruit when you cut it out of the skin, because the skin actually holds. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate you, honey. The skin also holds a lot of the nutrients, and we tend to discard the skin when we're eating these fruits. And because they're so tainted nowadays, it's almost not even recommended that you eat the skin of the fruit. Back when I was growing up, you could pick this stuff off the tree. The lemon peels would be so delicious. They were bitter, but they were good at the same time. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Hey, Ray. So I'm going to go wash these and scrub them real quick. And the aroma, I wish you could, if this was smell-o-vision, you'd be able to smell it. So I'll be right back. These are already scrubbed and washed, and I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, it smells so wonderful. This lime. Ah! And the orange. Oh my gosh, this orange. The first lemon that I scrubbed, I could smell it really aromically. It was very strong. This lemon here was really strong. The second lemon that I just scrubbed, it was strong, but not quite as strong. So you're going to need 2 oranges, 2 lemons, 1 lime. You're going to need some garlic. You're going to use about 5 cloves from here. You're going to need some ginger, okay? Ginger root, fresh ginger root. This is already washed. I have an extra lemon over here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not going to use that lemon, so I'm going to just put it there. Okay, and then I prefer keeping my ingredients in glass jars. Glass is actually made from sand, and when you put your herbs and things or purchase your herbs and things, I do my best to buy them in glass containers because it keeps the activated properties of the herb active as opposed to plastic. Like if you shake this in here, I don't know, I'm very sensitive to natural energy. So when I shake these herbs in these natural glass jars as opposed to plastic, it's almost like I can feel the energy of the herb reactivating as it becomes agitated inside the glass. And that's because glass is more in a natural state. So I have some cayenne in here. I am actually going to use this cayenne because even though it's in a plastic container, you guys, I've had this cayenne since 1987. When I moved from one spot to another years ago, I packed it. I accidentally packed it in a box with some stuff that wasn't spices because it had got left behind. It was sitting on a shelf. And I didn't unpack it for years. And then when I did unpack it, it was so potent that this is like my sacred cayenne right here. I want to put it, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ray. I want to put it in a glass jar, but I'm almost scared to just because the universe kept it for me in this form. And when I use it, I can really tell the difference because it's so old. I can tell the difference of the potency of this cayenne. Now imagine if you have some cayenne in a glass jar and you just let it sit and forget about it. And then you go back to use it like 10, 20 years later. This cayenne right here is hella old and I love it. So I use it and I'm starting to run out. And then you're going to need some honey. Okay, honey, and I have some honey in a glass jar, but I'm using it for another tea that I use. And then you're going to need bay leaf. Bay leaf is really high in magnesium. And magnesium is really good for colds and flus, okay? So bay leaf is higher in magnesium than a lot of vegetables and fruits, okay? So here we go. You're also going to need some clean water. I have my filter here, so I use my water from the Brita filter and filter it that way. Some people use that what is the other water that people use? It's like this holistic water, and I just filter my water and use it that way. So whatever water you're comfortable with, the spring water, the alkaline water, whatever is good for you, that's what you're going to use, okay? So I try not to be too much of a stickler because I try to appeal to people who are just learning to advocate for their health. So when you start throwing in all these, fancy things you got to buy and all this different kind of stuff, I really consider myself a naturalist, a herbalist, a witch, yes, a natural healer. And with that, you use what's around you. You use what the universe brings to you. And so I think a lot of us get overwhelmed when we start thinking about, oh, well, I want to do this, but I can't afford to buy this in this form, and I can't afford to, I don't want to be bothered with running all over town to try to find where they got, this type of water. And it's like, man, do what's best for you. As long as you do something, it's better than doing nothing, okay? And your body will appreciate it. Our spirits really go off of our intention. So intention has a lot to do with what you put into what you're doing as well, more so than the brand and the where it's from, or just like this cayenne, just like I just explained to you guys how this cayenne means so much to my heart, because I've had this cayenne from the time I went through my second divorce, and I was really beginning to like stand up for myself and take care of myself. So that when I found it in the box years later and how old it was, I was like, dang, this cayenne survived through all that. And so it means something to me. So you're going to take your pot. I'm going to put this right here so you guys can see this a little bit better. You're going to just take your pot after you cut up the oranges, and you're going to squeeze some of them into the pot. You cut them into quarters, right? You're going to squeeze some of them in there like this. And then I usually squeeze one. So this would be one. Coming up right here. So that's one orange. I squeezed the whole orange part, you know, I partially squeezed it in there. And then I'm cutting up another one into quarters. I'm just going to throw these in there like that. Because what happens is over time, as you eat this, or as you drink this, and see, I'm saying eat, this tea becomes so tasty that you're going to want to pull one of these oranges out after about 3 or 4 days, and it's soaked up all the, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. Soaked up all the good stuff. You're going to wish you had left some of the juice in some of these oranges. So I usually leave the juice in about 4 pieces of it, okay? And then I'll squeeze the juice into all the other ones. So I think I plopped 4 pieces that weren't cut. I'm gonna squeeze one of these and not squeeze the other. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you. I got one I want to share with you too. I'll message you later. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate it. All right, Samuel and Chanel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Okay, so we got the oranges in there. Now we're going to do the lemons. I'm going to just put this back over here real quick. Okay. Put this over here. We're going to cut up a lemon. We already scrubbed these. If you weren't watching earlier, you want to clean your citrus fruits. You're going to run them under some water. Of course, you're going to take all the peels off. Let's bring this closer here. You're going to take all the peels off, you know, not the peelings like the stickers is what I mean. You're not taking the peelings off. Don't peel the fruit. Some people think the peeling is bad for you. I totally disagree. So you're going to cut this into sections. You're going to squeeze some of these also and put them in there. And I squeeze all the lemon. I don't keep any of the lemon unsqueezed because they're lemon and they're sour, and when they soak up the rest of the juices, it doesn't taste like the orange peels does when you bite into the orange peels that haven't been squeezed, like this one hasn't been squeezed, and it soaks in all the flavors from the tea. It just tastes like dynamically wonderful. And I like to put everything in there. Everything. People disagree. I do what I do, and I've been doing it for a minute. So, hey, cousin. How you doing, Chanel? Good to see you. Okay, and then we got a lime. So if you weren't watching earlier, when you wash these citrus, when you wash the lemons and the lime and the orange, the lemon just gives this whole tea a pop, like this pop that's undescribable. So I got my lime in here. I'm going to squeeze all that in there and just plop it in there after I squeeze. Okay. The lime, the juice and the peeling, it just, you can tell it's in there because it just adds this extra flavor of, oh, I can't even describe it. This tea is so good. Like, you're going to drink this throughout the day. Like, it tastes that good. Okay. And then it's also good for you that you're doing that. Okay, so I got all my citrus squeezed in here. The aroma is off the hook. Okay, I'm going to get whatever juice left in there that I can get in there. Okay, and now I'm going to put my garlic in there. So I'm going to take about 5 cloves of garlic from here. I'm going to try to get big ones. So you got your garlic clove. Let's see if I can get some big ones from here. Yeah, Chris, inbox me. Let me know what that is, and I'll definitely share it. Oh, I accidentally cracked that one. That's 2. Oh, that smells good. I love garlic. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we got our garlic cloves. Now, you may or may not be aware of this, but garlic clove peels are so good for your throat, like in coating. There's a frolic acid or something in the garlic clove leaves that is excellent for throat coat. Like it helps with soothing coughs and sore throats. So it's not just the oh yeah, I know. We'll talk, cousin. I haven't been sick, but I've been feeling like something's trying to get me. And I ain't trying to get got. How about that? Okay. But there's something in these peels, and I think it's frolic acid. It could be something else, but there's something in the garlic peels that coat your throat, that help with your throat. So when you're using garlic and you are crushing it like this with the flat side of a knife, all of us know how to do this part, right? So you just crush it like that with the flat side of the knife. You're going to throw this whole thing in there. You're going to throw it in there, peel and all. And when you drink this tea, after I said this tea, you just keep adding water to it day after day. I've drank off this tea for like a week, maybe 10 days at some times, okay? So even if I'm in a place where I'm not feeling good and I don't feel like doing anything, if I have this tea already fixed, it's there, okay? It's already ready, okay? And the more you do, the more you add water to it and reheat it, the more potent it gets. That's the other wonderful thing about this tea. So this is the Cooty Killin Tea, y'all. And we're just smashing our cloves of garlic here. Excuse the noise. I should have did this on the counter. Okay. Yeah. My doctor's right now, throat mucus and high blood pressure. Ray, do you take high blood pressure medication? Garlic is really good for your blood pressure. You can inbox me. We can talk, okay? We can talk a little bit. All right. First, eliminating, salt. And I'm going to do this over here because I know this is too loud. And I only have a couple more to do. Okay. So we got that's 4 and 1 less garlic clove. 5. Garlic, garlic, garlic clove. The whole thing in there. Okay. So now we got all our citrus. We got lemon, lime. We got 2 oranges, 2 lemons, a lime, 5 cloves of garlic. Yes, sir. Inbox me, Ray. Inbox me. I might be able to give you some suggestions on herbs and things that you can take, okay? So now we're going to put the ginger in there. I love when ginger starts to sprout on my counter. I've grown it out in my garden a couple times, but haven't had major luck with that. But I have grown some flowers with my onions. So you're just going to take some ginger. This has already been washed. And like I said, I do the skin and everything on my herbs. Okay, I do everything. Some people say that's not safe to do nowadays because of all the pesticides they put on our stuff, but I haven't had a problem. It tastes delicious, and I wash my fruit before I use it. And we are so full of chemicals with everything anyway already that, everything comes from nature. Everything comes from nature. All the chemicals that are around us were derived from things in nature, right? I mean, it's not like some chemical fell out the sky for us to create stuff. We created stuff from nature. Okay, so now you also, this is ginger. we just put ginger. This is cinnamon. And we're going to put a bay leaf. These are bay leaves. And we're going to put a bay leaf. So we got one bay leaf. I told you guys I like to keep my things in glass containers. For me, the energy of the essence of whatever the medicine or the foods that I'm using comes through better when it's been kept in a glass container. Okay. So that's the bay leaf. I usually like to put my bay leaf on the bottom. So I usually put it in first, but I'm just going to stick it underneath all this other stuff. I usually put it in at the bottom. So we got the bay leaf. We got, what else we got? So we got our bay leaf in here, our ginger, our garlic, 2 oranges, 2 lemons, and a lime. The wonderful thing about this is do as your heart tells you to do with everything, okay? That's your medicine you're creating for yourself. So do what your spirit tells you to do. If your spirit tells you to put in 3 lemons instead of 2, be happy and do all that, okay? Do what your spirit tells you to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to light the fire and I'm going to pour the water in. Okay. Light the fire there and I'm going to pour the water in. I'm just going to cover what's in here. I usually go up to where the little screws on my handles are with the water on the inside, okay, if that's of any direction for you. Okay, now this is when I start putting all the other ingredients in. I have my 1987 cayenne pepper, cayenne powder. So I'm going to put some of that in there. I got plenty of that in there right now. I have cayenne here that I've put in a glass jar that I'm trying to age. I just wanted to show you guys that. I have some cinnamon in my glass jar here. The cinnamon is kind of old too. And I've refilled it actually. So I got cinnamon. Just put how much ever you feel your heart can take. If you really like cinnamon, put more. Yes, ginger is very good. Ginger is a relaxant and a cleanser. So it helps you to relax. Like it helps to not agitate whatever is going on inside of you. So a lot of times when we're not feeling well, we get anxious and uptight. So it also has the effect of relaxing us as well as cleansing effect. Okay. And then we have our honey. So, and I want to get my wooden spoon here. When you are preparing this, try to use natural utensils the best you can if you have them to use. I have wooden spoons. Whatever natural you can use, you know. You don't really want to use aluminum for an aluminum spoon or aluminum pot. You don't want to do that because aluminum absorbs into the food, and lemons and limes are very acidic, and so you're going to get some of that aluminum into your tea if you're using an aluminum pot or pan to do this in. So try not to, and if that's all you got, then that's all you got. You know, you can only do what you have, which is better than not doing it at all, right? Okay. So I've put my honey in there. I've put my cayenne. I've put my cinnamon. I've put my ginger, my garlic, my bay leaf. Hey, Karen. I put my oranges, my lemons, and my limes. And now we're going to let this boil, come to a boil, a rapid boil. I'm not going to taste this yet. We're going to let this come to a rapid boil because I may want to put more honey in there. I may want to put more cayenne in there. That's usually what I use to adjust the flavor, the cayenne or the honey. Everything else is potent enough on its own where you're not going to need to add more or less of anything else, okay? So, and I put my cast iron griddle on top because the cast iron also creates, when it drips the steam, the steam from the lid drips back into the formula. So it adds that iron that we need for our blood, okay? So particles of the iron on the inside of this lid are going to drip back into there. And this is a Teflon pot. It's kind of a, when I was balling, I bought this set of pots and pans. And they're a good brand, a good set, good quality set of pots and pans. So those are investments that we want to try to make in ourselves. Good pots, good pans, good linens. Spin while you have it, and then when things get rough and you want to relax and chill, you'll have them. When you don't have them, I need to have them. But that's, so you want to boil it until it, you want to bring it to a rapid boil. So I'm gonna let this sit, and when it comes to a rapid boil, then I'm gonna turn it down to simmer, and I'm gonna let it simmer for about 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. You can drink it sooner, but I find that letting it simmer for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, it tends to bring the real potent aspects of the ingredients out after an hour and a half, 2 hours. So you're going to bring it to a rapid boil with the lid on, okay? So that means you got to check it, because that means you got to come back to make sure it's rapid boiling. Don't just walk off and leave it and, you know, come back 2 hours later and it's burnt at the bottom because you're rapid boiling it. So you're going to bring it to a rapid boil. You got to check on it. And then when it comes to a rapid boil, after you check on it, then you're going to turn it down so that it simmers. So I'm going to come back to this, and maybe I'll go live again when it starts to simmer, after it's simmered for an hour and a half or 2. And what I encourage you to do is, after it's simmered for 2 hours, I usually simmer mine for 2 hours, you're going to notice that it looks like a tea. It starts to get dark, right? Like a tea. And you can taste it and try it. And then you're going to leave it sitting on your stove at room temperature for days, okay? You're not going to put it in the refrigerator. You're going to let it sit with the lid on it for at least a week. You can drink off this tea on your stove. It's great for the winter time, okay? Okay, so, and because it's lemons and limes and all these citric acids, they don't go bad really quickly, okay? So they're lemons and limes and citrus fruit are preservatives. Back when the bubonic plague was here and in the United States, one of the ways that people kept from getting it was to take orange and lemon peels and they put it in their mouths and they walked around with them in their mouths, because citrus fruit and the acid from lemons and oranges ward off germs, okay? Just like garlic. So that's why we put the garlic in here as well. And the bay leaf, the magnesium from the bay leaf boosts your immune system. And bay leaves have a great deal of magnesium in them as well. Okay? Yes, ma'am. This is true. So we're going to let this boil. I'm going to come back in a couple hours. Maybe you guys can see what it looks like. Okay? And then we'll go from there. You're welcome so much, cousin. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Cousin Chanel. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. You can inbox me. I might be able to help you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Angela, Shirley, Ray, Lisa, and Ken Dog. All right, y'all. Blessings. Peace. I love you. Bless.